Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sándor Ivancsó. I will be the moderator, in fact, at today's event. Before starting the official program, I would like to share some technical information with you. First of all, coffee and pastries will be available in the atrium until 11 a.m. Please wear your badges, as they will be required for admission to lunch and coffee, which will also be held in the atrium. Simultaneous English-Hungarian interpretation is provided throughout the event. You can pick up your receivers on the right-hand side opposite the stairs. This event can also be followed by a live stream on the Facebook pages of Political Capital, Budapest City Hall, and the CEU Democracy Institute. And now let's move to the official part of the day. Welcome to the Budapest Forum 2025 at Central European University. Over the last 4 years, the Budapest Forum has emerged as a key player in the international policy event scene, drawing huge public interest with more than 450 in-person participants and almost 40,000 viewers per year, as well as hundreds of Hungarian and international media appearances. This year, under the banner of Building Sustainable Democracies, the Forum proposes to examine the growing role of geopolitics in shaping international relations. We intend to address the shifting dynamics of transatlantic cooperation, the transformation of the global economic landscape, and the increasingly urgent questions surrounding war and peace. To set the tone for today's discussion, I am pleased to invite our opening speakers. Carsten Schneider, Interim President and Rector, CEU. Benedek Jávor, Head of Brussels Representation, Budapest City Hall. And Péter Krekó, Director, Political Capital Institute, Senior Fellow, CEPA.
Distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, my name is Carsten Schneider and I'm the Interim President and Rector of Central European University since this August, but I'm also a faculty member since more than 21 years, Professor of Political Science. And I should start with a warning. I think I'm given 5 minutes, it will be 6 minutes, because I thought I want to share a couple of thoughts that go beyond just saying hello. So on behalf of the CEU Democracy Institute and one of the 3 co-organizers, together with the municipality of Budapest and the Political Capital Institute, I'm very pleased to welcome you all to the 2025 Budapest Forum. Just as CEU is more than a mere scholastic institution dedicated to the transmission of knowledge, so the Budapest Forum, which our university is honored to host, is much more than just another conference with talking heads. It is a veritable democratic experiment grounded in critical deliberation and fearless thinking. As many of you remember, our venue today used to be the home of our university until we were forced to relocate under political pressure, unprecedented in the European Union. We have found our new home in Vienna since then, but the presence of our Democracy Institute and other veritable institutions and activities within our old walls ensures that the spirit of CEU still lives on in Budapest, a city that has a special place in the hearts of so many members of our community, from students, alumni to staff and faculty, and I include myself here. It is with great pride, therefore, that we host this annual forum, providing a temporary home, even if it's just for one day, to all of us gathered here today to discuss and debate so many of the urgent questions that deeply concern and thus unite both the citizens of this wonderful city and our much smaller academic community. It is no accident that I have mentioned the citizens of Budapest. All of us at CEU are eternally grateful to the tens of thousands of locals who showed their support when we were under duress, marching in solidarity through the streets and squares of this city, standing with us, defying the forces of arbitrary persecution and oppression. And as we all know, a few months ago, it was the citizens of this same city, including the mayor, who bravely stood up again for the cause of tolerance, openness, and social justice, demonstrating peacefully and with dignity, undeterred by the threat of reprisal. When we worry, as we rightly do these days, about some kind of return to a neo-medieval and neo-feudal social order, which erodes the remnants of the liberal democratic state in many parts of the world, we should also recall the old German saying from the Middle Ages, Stadtluft macht frei, city air makes you free. Cities like Budapest truly liberate the mind and fill the hearts of people with hope, hope for a free, fair, and equitable, open society. It is this hope that our forum rekindles and keeps alive too. Over the last 4 years, the Budapest Forum has become a unique space that brings together policymakers and activists, mayors and MEPs, researchers and academics, as well as the ordinary citizens eager to engage in a collective project of thinking through some of the most formidable challenges that we all face today. The main theme of this year's forum, Building Sustainable Democracy, encapsulates many of these challenges and dilemmas, from the return to hard geopolitical realities to economic crisis and technological transformation, from rampant march of right-wing populism and illiberalism to disruptive effects of climate change, and so on. I am convinced that all of us here present, but also the thousands of online followers, are very much looking forward to hearing or even participating in the extremely stimulating panel talks and discussions today. After all, what gives us hope amidst this doom and gloom that we confront daily is the indomitable spirit of rallying to the defense of democracy, the courage of and determination of people who selflessly work for a greater good for the communities. As the organizers of this forum put it so well, and allow me to quote here, we remain convinced that it is not only the multitude of crises that defines our time, but also the commitment and intellectual prowess of broad segments of our societies to tackle these crises. Every single participant in this forum, elected civil servants and civic activists, scholars and policy experts, is here with us for no other reason than the passionate commitment they, or should I rather say we, share to making democracy generally sustainable in the broadest possible sense. To this end, we shall try to come up with creative, participatory and empowering answers to such timely questions as the following, if I may just single out a few. How can cities resist creeping autocratization and bolster the rule of law? How could climate justice be reconciled with democratic principles on the municipal level? And so on. The very act of raising such questions should make us all acutely aware that any emancipatory politics and policies need to adapt to rapidly changing realities that we are living today. I'm almost coming to an end. I would be the last person to promise that we are going to come up with definite answers and solutions to these questions here and now. I'm sure everyone in this room recognizes that the building of sustainable democracies requires a long-term, virtually never-ending collective effort. Democracies do not survive by default, only if we spare no time and effort in continuously renewing the institutional fabric and reaffirming the ethos through our praxis. I'm absolutely sure that our diagnosis of the present will give rise to, at minimum, very minimum, to the outlines of powerful new imaginaries shaping the future we all want to build. We have much to learn from each other, although the day may be too short, I'm afraid. So without further ado, let me simply thank all of our speakers, panelists, and participants in the audience for joining us here. And let me also add a special thanks to everyone who helped organize this wonderful event. Thank you for being here, and I wish us all an inspiring day full of discussions and collaborative debates. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, dear mayors, ambassadors, distinguished guests, dear friends. My only role here is to warmly welcome all of you on behalf of the city of Budapest, as later on Mayor Karácsony will deliver an excellent speech. And the good news is that I'm going to keep my 5 minutes time frame. This is the 5th Budapest Forum in a row. And the dream which we had 6 years ago together with some of the colleagues presented here, like Péter Krekó for Political Capital, during this time had become a reality first, then it grew up, and by now it is an important stage to exchange views on keeping our democracies alive and making them sustainable. And we believe that it's a huge success that under the heavy pressure from the government and financial constraints and so on and so forth, we are still there and we are able together to organize the Budapest Forum and to keep it an important opportunity to discuss the important issues we are facing with in Europe and globally. While in 2021, when the first Budapest Forum was organized, it seemed to be a unique opportunity to discuss the question of illiberal democracies in Budapest, keeping in mind that we have a special knowledge on this issue. By now, unfortunately, it has become the political mainstream. And what seemed to be something special Hungarian in 21 now is something we are facing with all over the world. Also, the risks increased in the past couple of years with the Russian aggression in Ukraine or China's threat towards Taiwan. So the topics we repeatedly discussed at the Budapest Forums in the past years are more and more important. So there is more and more to discuss, more than ever, and also I have to say that what is at stake is increasingly fundamental for our democracies, for our security, for the future of our countries, for the future of the European Union. Today, we will have the opportunity to listen to some of the best analysts, experts, former or active decision makers on these topics, and I am at least as eager to listen to them as you, so I wouldn't like to take too much time before they can take the stage. One more thing, this is the first year when the city of Budapest opened the Budapest Forum to a wider public, and besides of the conference like Budapest Forum here in this room and at the Central European University building, there are side events which already started earlier this week, and which continue on tomorrow to make the Budapest Forum an inclusive event where the wider public also able to join us and to discuss the issues we are speaking about here in this room. And finally, I would like to say thank you for, first of all, to our two partners, Political Capital and Central European University Democracy Institute, for the excellent cooperation we were having in the past couple of years in organizing the Budapest Forum, and also for our financing and supporting partners who made possible the event today and the Budapest Forum in the past years. So thank you for everybody who were working on organizing this event, our colleagues at Political Capital, at the CUDI and the Municipality of Budapest. Our colleagues made an excellent work and really invested a lot into the organization of this event. And with that, I would like to wish you a fruitful conference. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Dear distinguished guests, dear Mayor Karácsony, dear Mayor Tchaikovsky, dear Rector Schneider, ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, dear colleagues, dear friends, we have not coordinated with Bence and Rector Schneider on what they are going to talk about. Not surprisingly, I will tell very similar things than them. Good news is that I'm the last in the line of these welcome speeches. I'm delighted to welcome you all at the 5th Budapest Forum, which over the past half-decade has grown into the largest pro-democracy conference here in Budapest. On behalf of the Political Capital Institute, co-organizer of this event, I extend warm greetings to everyone present: speakers, politicians, policy experts, activists, researchers, students, city officials, ambassadors, and diplomats. Warm welcome also to the journalists who will hopefully bring the insights from this room to a broader audience. Special thanks go to our speakers who have traveled to be here or who are here in Budapest and accepted our invitation, and to our co-organizing partners, Central European University, European University Democracy Institute, and the Municipality of Budapest. I am grateful also to our strategic partner, Henrik Böll Foundation, and also our partners, the representation of Taipei in Budapest, the Friedrich Naumann Stiftung. These are our longtime friends and allies in this exercise, and also new friends in this exercise, such as the Institute of Human Sciences in Vienna and Science Plus. Your support makes this forum possible. Over the course of the day, we will address some of the most pressing issues facing democracy and quasi-democratic societies: geopolitics in flux, rule of law and democratic norms, climate, innovation, cities, populism, civic resistance, disinformation, future of Ukraine, and the future of Hungary as well, that will face an election next year. This year we decided to do things a bit differently than previously. We shortened the conference to 1 day and reduced the number of parallel sessions to have a linear flow. Rector Schneider have mentioned that this is not just a conference of talking heads, this is a conference of many talking heads. There are 44 speakers and moderators all together, and I'm just mentioning that you might be glad that I'm concluding my remarks soon, but you might be more sad that some of the panels with excellent speakers will be shorter than expected, and there will be not much time for questions and answers. But thanks a lot for accepting these rules in advance. This is a conference that deals with the challenges that democracies are facing these days, but democracies' challenges are not only internal. Revisionist powers such as Russia and China are exerting hybrid military and information pressure on their neighbors, and not only on their neighbors, and on democracies worldwide. Recent drone incursions into Polish and Romanian airspace were an important reminder of all that. The question has been raised after these events whether these were isolated incidents or deliberate, or even was it Russia or was it someone else. But all the available evidence points to the Russian involvement, and these cases do not happen by accident. So this is a place where we can call things by name, which we think are important, and it was Russia's provocation and the deliberate one. And in times like these, calling the threats we are facing by name and expressing solidarity towards NATO and EU allies is more crucial than ever, as solidarity with Ukraine, which has endured heroically more than 3 years of war and occupation, and with Taiwan facing mounting pressure from China, and not only in the information and economic domain. Thank you all for being here, subscribing to this exercise, and joining us for what we hope will be a dense but inspiring day. And without further ado, I'm honored to give the floor to Gergely Karácsony, Mayor of Budapest, to deliver his opening remarks. This is also a tradition of the Budapest Forum. Thank you very much.